Hey guys, it's Vera Wylde. It's been a little while. I have been very busy, but I am back with more tips for beginning cross-dressers. And I'm going to talk about corsets. Now, I've actually talked about corsets before and just sort of using them and other things you can do to give yourself hips and a waist that you probably don't have naturally. What I'm going to do specifically this time is show you a technique for lacing up and then tightening a corset on your own. Last time I talked about corsets, I did say that it's going to be best if you have someone else to help you out. And I do believe that to be the case, but I know a lot of you don't have that person who you can trust to help do up your corset. So this is going to be a way to get it laced and to get it tightened on yourself that you can do completely on your own. So we'll get started. Okay, so here you can see the corset itself. This is as it came to me. It came to me unlaced, and you can see the grommets here, which is what the lacing will be going through. And so we will get started. Now I'm going to want to make sure right at the beginning that I've got the laces even. So I've got both ends and I've got the middle already figured out. So with that in mind, we are going to start up at the top and we're going to work our way down. Now obviously this lacing, I would prefer a lacing that color-wise matched the corset a bit more, but this is what came with it, and I actually think this will work well for today's purposes because the black will stand out against the ivory and you'll get to see what I'm talking about a little bit better. So there's our very first one, and from there we simply work our way down. Now in terms of which one's on top and which one is underneath, I want it to be the same every time. So you'll notice that here, the one that went from right to left is underneath, the one that went from left to right is on the bottom. So I want to maintain that. So where I am now, I am actually going to do something a little different. I am about at the midpoint. This particular corset, because it has 10 grommets, does not have an exact midpoint, but you'll notice just sort of the curve of where the shape of the corset is, where your waist is going to be, which should be about the midpoint. I am going to do, rather than what I had been doing, I am now going to put this through here, and I'm going to do it like this on both sides. And what this is going to do is this is going to create the loop that I will then use to basically take hold of and do my cinching on. And I'll illustrate that a little bit more clearly once I've actually got all this done up and have put it on. And once I have that loop on both sides, I'm just going to go back to what I was doing before, being careful not to pull it too tight because I don't want to lose these loops that I've set up. Now, once I get down to the bottom, I'm actually going to tie a knot in the very bottom of each of these laces. And then I'm actually going to loosen it back up from there, and I'll sort of explain that once I get this done here. What I've done is I've set up an end point so that now when I tighten, these won't pull back through. So now you'll notice with that double knotted, I can't pull it back through. So now I'm actually going to take all this extra that I've got and I'm going to loosen it so that it ends up being part of the middle loops that I've created here. So now I've got my basic lacing up. I've got these two loops of approximately equal length. Now, I do have this a little bit tighter than it should be for my first time getting it on. So I am going to loosen this down a little bit more down the length of it so that I can actually get this on and tighten it up from there. Okay, so now we're going to go actually putting on and lacing up, tightening the corset once it's on you. So I have here the corset that I laced up earlier. And again, you want to be sure that the knots that you placed are down at the bottom. And I'm putting it on in such a way that this panel that's on the back is going to cover up the gap. Otherwise, that would be showing my flesh in the back, which, of course, you can also fold the panel over so that that does show if that's the effect you want to go for. Now, it should be relatively easy to get all of these connected so that you're all done up in the front. As I said before, you want to start with it loose. We're going to tighten it after the fact, not before we get going. So, now, I said before, and I stand by this, that it is going to be easier to do and to cinch up really well if you have someone to help you. But if you don't, this is what you'll be doing. So, as you can see, I am done up in the back. Now, the panel's not completely covering because I'm not really tightened up yet. But I'm going to take my 2 loops and basically just cinch myself in like so. Now you'll notice pretty much immediately, since it pulled in at the point of the loops, it gave me an immediate waist and a shape and a curve that I did not have before. So once I've got this tight, and I'm actually going to tighten it just slightly more than is actually comfortable because just the process of now tying this off, it's going to loosen slightly. And that's sort of where having another person to help you really comes in handy, as you can minimize that loosening that happens. And there we are. I am now done up. I am now tied. I have tied it in a way that I can easily pull it out and just get out of the corset again. Again, if I had someone else to help me, it could be done up tighter or tied off in other ways. But now you will notice there's curve and there's shape here that I did not have without the corset in place, and I did manage to do that all up completely by myself. So you can corset and lace up and cinch up on your own. It is going to be easier with someone else, but if all you've got is yourself, this is how you would do it. So, I hope that was helpful for everybody, and until next time, guys.